So you need to watch this podcast. It is mind-blowing. It is game-changing. I have just finished watching 3 hours and 13 minutes of The Diary of a CEO with Stephen Bartlett interviewing Alex Hormozi, and wow, if you haven't watched it, watch it. But before you do, I've broken down those 3 hours and 13 minutes into just 8 minutes of the top game-changing takeaways, insights, strategies to grow in this time a thriving, badass business. Honestly, just watch it. And if you like this breakdown, this like just take away the fluff, just say what it is, key points, subscribe to this channel. And if enough of you subscribe, I will do this even more. Have a truly amazing day. Let's go. Watch and share with me your takeaways too. Hey, so I just finished watching The Diary of a CEO with Stephen Bartlett interviewing or talking to Alex Hormozi, and it was called The Man That Makes Millionaires. And turning $100 into $10K with this step-by-step formula. And honestly, I was blown away. So this is over 3 hours long. I think it's 3 hours, 13 minutes. I did speed it up and I watched it over a few days, and I was watching it in about 45-minute stints at the beginning of the day, and it really gave me some motivation. And I just want to say, I totally do fangirl on Alex Hormozi. I love his mindset. I love the way that he breaks everything down. He shares through stories, through experiences, through analogies. He makes everything so simple to understand. And I think that is possibly one of the biggest reasons why he is where he is, because he continues to learn and he looks at everything. And if he can't break it down, then he will keep looking until he can break it down into a simple process. And that just fascinates me, and definitely something that I'm bringing more of into my world and my business. So as I said in my community, that I was going to share some of my lessons from this, and we could all share our own lessons as well. So Alex talks at 37 minutes within the 37-minute mark in the video. He talks about like standing out. What do you need to do to stand out in this day and age? Because it's very noisy, and something that I'm always talking about myself. It's pretty noisy out there. Every man, woman, dog, goldfish is creating an online business. It's a lot. So how do you stand out? And I just love the fact that he said exactly, you stand out by being uniquely you. You are what stands out. People are interested in you for being you. So being authentic, having the courage and the bravery to show up in every way, shape or form as yourself. And he says, never dilute yourself. So I totally agree. I just saw a post of his today, and do you know what? I was just going to use this as a transcript. This is how I create a lot of my copy, actually. I will voice note it like this to myself, and then I will use the transcript to create the content. But some of you might want to watch it as well. So here you go. You can have the video of my little geeky face as well. So yeah, he just shared a post on his wall as well about how he's feeling so freaking miserable at the moment. And not that we have to tell everybody every time we have a shit day. We don't have to say every time we've got a headache or we've got a bad back or somebody's said this or somebody's said that and you're upset about this. But let's just be honest. We all have shit days, regardless of what you see from the outside. And I just loved his vulnerability in that, saying he was really miserable. So coming on to some of the other points, and there were so much points, so many takeaways and light bulb moments and just like realizations of yes that I took from this. So I really do invite you to go and watch it as well. Okay, another thing, strategy is not the hard part. Okay, there are a million strategies out there, so many strategies, and most of them work. Strategies are actually quite simple. It's like get a plan in place, get yourself visible, nail your message, get it seen, have an offer that people actually want, do your market research, create an offer that is understandable, that people can easily jump in, purchase, and then you deliver the results. But the strategy to sell, there's different elements and people do it in different ways. That's actually the easiest part. But the reason, and I was like, frick, yes, Alex, you're spot on. The reason most people actually fail is because they don't stick to the strategy. If you stick to a strategy, if you were to sell an offer that people actually want and you were to stick to that every day, or you were to commit to one social media platform and you were to commit to showing up, look, I've been doing this myself, it will work. The strategy is not the reason why most people fail. So we've got to stop blaming the strategies. It's because most people give up or they don't stick to it long enough, and then they say the strategy doesn't work and they move on to something else. So that's why most people fail. Rapid feedback. I can't remember what he actually meant by that. Kind, not nice. So, they were talking about a little bit about like staffing and taking on teams and stuff. And if somebody's not working, I do know the rapid feedback, but we won't go into everything. But if something's not working, sometimes it's kinder to say, if somebody's not working or doing their job properly, and maybe they're getting some bad press and people are like bitching about them a little bit, it's kinder to actually approach that person to have a conversation than to just be nice and say, oh, it's all right, it will sort itself out, because that's not going to get anywhere. So kind is not nice. I mean, it's not the same as nice. Sometimes kindness means speaking the truth. And rapid feedback is the way that you approach this. He has a very good way of approaching something. He talks about the solution. So he doesn't just talk about the problem. He doesn't just say let's say, for example, somebody's not doing their job properly. He doesn't say you're not doing your job properly. He doesn't even go in with that. He comes in and says, okay, so this is this thing. Noticing that you're struggling with X, Y, Z. So let's try X, Y, Z. And he gives a solution. Brilliant rapid feedback. If you can't explain it to a child, then you don't know it well enough. Same. I see a lot of people with their offers and like, what's your offer? What's your business? Fluffing around. I've been there myself. I fluffed a lot. Fluffy fluff. Don't know. If you can't explain it to a child, then you don't know it well enough yourself. And I always say the same with like objection. If you can't object the objection, you still have the objection yourself. So if you don't know why people should be in your community, how are they supposed to know? We need to get clarity on these answers ourselves. Niche slap. I can't remember that. We talked about someone about niching down and how they jump from niche to niche. I think he called it niche slapping. I'm not too sure exactly on that bit. Loves that he's a testing geek too. He tests everything. He puts out hundreds of pieces of content every day and he tests it and he looks it. So he tests just the headline, just the hook. This is what I've been doing this month. If you've been following along with my journey this last week or so, testing just the hook. Start to notice what hooks make people stop the scroll, what hooks make people open the emails. Okay, then you go on to the next bit. Then you start to test the message. What do they want? Do they want values? Do they resonate with stories? Do they want tips? Do they want it micro? Do they want it long? You test. You test all these different ways. You take the data. This is what we're doing in the All Eyes on You experiment as well. Testing, geeking, until you get the perfect formula. If you want to rapidly learn, rapidly do. Okay, yes. If you want to learn something, do it. Don't just read a book. Read some bit, implement. That's how you're going to learn. You learn in action. Learning is not in sitting back and watching. Learning is in action. If you can't explain why you believe what you believe, it's not your belief, it's someone else's. I was like, light bulb moment. If you can't explain what you believe, so you might say, I believe that avocados are the best for your hair. This is a random example. Someone might say, well, why? And you're like, oh, I'm not actually sure. I've just seen it somewhere. Not your belief. So claim your beliefs. Stay true to your beliefs. And then he also talked about copying. So if somebody's copying you, they're second. They're behind you. They're second. If you're copying someone else, you've admitted defeat. So stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Stay true. This doesn't mean copying is not the same as learning or implementing things that have been taught to you that you know you want to test and try out for yourself. But yeah, we don't need to copy. We want to stay true to ourselves. Okay, this is quite long, but I really want to share. There's so many lessons. So I'm basically breaking down the nuggets of this, but go and watch the full thing. Work hard. Okay, Alex is known to be a grafter. He works freaking hard. Hands up. I've worked freaking hard most of my life. And sometimes we're like, oh, you never stop working. Alex gets the same. A lot of people are judging him on working hard. He said he doesn't enjoy going on holidays because he prefers to work. But he loves to work. So what's wrong with doing something that you absolutely love? And I got that. It just gave me that realization. If you love it, why not? Like he says, working hard is the destination because that's his I don't know if he used the word joy, but that's his happy place. And he said it's not always easy and everything, but it's in the working hard, which is the fulfillment. So you can do it your way. You might want to work slow, you might want to work fast, you might want to work hard, you might not want to work at all. But we take full responsibility of how we want to do it, and we do it our own way. And what other people say, that's their opinion. They can keep it. But there's nothing wrong with working hard. And I was like, yes, there's nothing wrong with working hard. Because sometimes I feel guilty for working hard because other people are like, you're always working. And I'm like, it's just giving me more permission to go, well, I love working. Like, that's my joy. Making me emotional, that actually. Yeah, and he said, and if people say that that's wrong, well, yeah, brilliant. Because if people say, what do they say? People say it's wrong and it's not normal. It's like, yeah, I bet it's not normal. We're unique. We do it in our own way. He talks about responsibility. Responsibility is my word of life. Responsibility in my actions, responsibility in my choices, responsibility in my reactions, responsibility in my conversations. So I was like, mine too, because he was like, I always take responsibility. And he talks about blame talk. And his final message was have the courage to be you, to show up being you. And more than ever right now, especially online, but in life, have the courage to always be you, but online as well. So that's my findings from this. Go and watch it, share your findings, and if you like this, we'll continue and I'll drop another video and we can do takeaways. And I'm also going to take this Loom transcript and create it into some copy and content as well. There you go. I've just told you how I create something really easily. I've got the bullet points there. I speak them out loud. I say them in my words, in my tone, in the way that feels very much me. And then voila, I've got my copy and content there. Ciao for now.